Hey, what's up, everybody? Rob Marzullo here, Ram Studio Comics. Welcome back. So this is a little bit of a different breed for videos that I do here. It's obviously another time lapse, which I do quite a bit, and narrated over top. But I also did a speed painting of this, and I'm also doing a narrated version. And simply put, it's because I've gotten requests to do both, and comments that a lot of people prefer one over the other. So I figure the best way to address that is to possibly try both. So we'll see how this works. So at any rate, I'm using Manga Studio 5. I was, made sure I showed the interface here so that you could get a little bit of a glimpse into how I do the process, and I could fill in some blanks with explaining that process. So I'm obviously looking at a shot from the Deadpool movie, which seems to be pretty killer. I haven't seen it yet, unfortunately, but the reviews and everybody talking about it sounds pretty cool. So it kind of inspired me to do this, even though I love the character regardless. So, if you notice, I draw a few Deadpool shots on my channel anyways. So this just kind of gave me that added little oomph to go ahead and get one of these done. So I just look at that and, I obviously got the picture up on one screen. I'm drawing on the other. So if you were to line these up over top, it'd be far from entirely accurate. But I like to generally stylize things a little bit, even if I'm doing a study like this. So I do the studies like this to give me a better idea of lighting, shadow, colors, just general things that you learn while you're painting. But then I also stylize it just because I've been doing comics forever and I don't always want to draw it exactly verbatim. It's just, to me, if it's identical, I mean, that does show your caliber as an artist, and it kind of gives you some bragging rights. But I don't know. I'm just more into the stylization of the work, so I'll change little things here and there, and it just keeps me a little bit more enthused about the project because I can't really copy things identically, at least not with any real accuracy, I guess. So just kind of brushing it. If you notice, I use a soft brush quite a bit in the beginning. I generally don't do that, but I just felt like it was working real well. Manga Studio's soft brush is really well done. All the brushes are really well done. But I generally go to the smooth watercolor a lot sooner than this. But I do end up transitioning to that. Now, one of the mistakes, or I don't know if it's a mistake, but just something I did differently here, I base colored the character in red, locked transparency, and then started to paint away. Obviously allows me to not go outside the perimeter of the character. But then I had painted over the red, and if you notice, I've got some red in the shoulder pads and parts of the suit that just wouldn't have red in them, like the sword. So I essentially I just take the lasso tool and I desaturate those areas to get them back to black. So again, I don't know if it's a right or wrong way type thing, but I just wanted to make you aware of why you see little bits of red in there, and you'll see me rectify that here in a bit. And I struggle and I get parts of the suit wrong in the chest and neck area. I guess that's bound to happen a little bit, but I just kind of misguided or misjudged the amount of distance from the pads there. And it's good to note that these won't always come out perfect, but as you do more and more of them, obviously you're going to get closer and closer, and your speed's going to go up. Like this entire painting only took me, I know I was under 2 hours with it, which is good for me because I generally labor over my work and spend a lot more time. So if I can get something out in that amount of time, it looks decent. I could have tightened it up a lot more. I could have just kept nitpicking it and getting in the detail work a lot more on a shot like this. But I just got it to a level that I was happy with and I thought looked good and allowed me to, get my work out there, because it's ultimately one of those things where, okay, is it a paid gig or am I just doing it out of a labor of love? So sometimes you got to factor that into the amount of time that you dedicate to a certain project. And here you'll see I'm getting ready to start desaturating those. So all that is selecting it and going to the edit mode and tonal correction and desaturating. So there's a lot of cool ways to speed through your work just using effects like that. I'll actually recolorize my work a lot of times with that same slider. So if I get like a certain element of my work that, you know, has the right tones but not the right color, then I'll just get in there and change it with that, and it saves a lot of time. So I recommend playing around with that as well. So yeah, then I'm adding a little bit of like grit to it. And if you notice, I use the actual overall shape that I painted to grab the selection. You just right click on the layer, select from layer, and bam, you got a perimeter selection that you can add a new layer effect over top and stay in the same confinements of that initial layer. So that's really one of the benefits of doing a flood fill in the beginning, or what I call flats, in the very beginning of your painting. And yeah, it's just kind of pinballing around. I use the highlight a little bit. Here I use the gradient tool to drop in a quick background fill, which I should have started more early on in the painting because it always gives you a better visual contrast to the character. And here I'm just taking some circles, and you can probably see where I'm going with this. I'm doing the ever lovely Deadpool logo, which I just started to notice looks a lot like the Spawn logo. Weird. Just saying. Just saying. But yeah, like, you know, and you see I just copy that, flip it, then I lock transparency again. You know, I got a very simple approach to painting this type of stuff, but I find it works well, and if it's not broke, then why fix it, right? So I just kind of repeat that process, and I need to actually create a few more texture brushes, which I'll be doing real soon in Manga here. Because it's always nice when you're doing this stuff to just quickly be able to throw in a little bit of grit, whether it be dots, imperfections, especially like I was noticing in the suit, there was a lot more imperfections I could have added in and really spiked up the realism a bit. So it's funny how the little nuances, like those little dots, specks, gritty blotches, whatever, that's what really makes that stuff work. Like you can see I'm just throwing that stuff in the background, and it immediately gives it a little bit more just area of interest or lifelike. I don't know. Just looks cooler, I guess. Better than just smooth gradations all over the place. So yeah, a few more little touch-ups, and you know, got to throw the signature in there. That's what it's all about. Putting that signature at the end. Make you famous. But alright, that's about it. So I appreciate you tuning in and watching this video. Let me know what you thought and what you'd like to see in the future. And as always, keep drawing, keep having fun, and I will talk to you soon.